want to thank you, oh Allah.
Thank you for the good life, good life. Allah, I wanna thank you for the good. For the morning and the stars, praise and multiply for what is and what was. Take hold of your iman, don't give in to shaitan. Oh, you who believe, please give thanks to Allah. Allahu Ghafoor, Allahu Rahim, Allahu yuhibbul muhsinin, wa khaliquna wa raziquna, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Allah is Ghafoor, Allah is
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ever-existing being that has been existing before the existence of existence. When He wanted existence to exist, He created existence and told existence that I want you to exist. But while you are existing, He said, I shall continue to exist. And it shall come to a time that you shall cease to exist, and I shall continue to exist. كل شيء فاني إلا الله باقي. قل لا الملك تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير تولج الليل في النهار وتولج النهار في الليل وتولج الحي من الميت وتخرج الميت من الحي وترزق من تشاء بغير حساب. You are welcome to this auspicious program tagged the School of Ramadan with Olayode Abdurazak, aka Philosopher King. MashaAllah. The School of Ramadan, MashaAllah, is just all about. It's all about what Ramadan is all about. Yes. It's all about what Ramadan is here to teach you. It's all about what you get to learn from Ramadan. So you need to go to the School of Ramadan, and you need to sit in the class of Ramadan, and you need to listen to Ramadan, so that when you listen to Ramadan, you understand what Ramadan is all about. So you thereby pass through the School of Ramadan and let Ramadan pass through you. That is what we are doing in this program, inshallah. And today, what is the program? What is this subtopic or subject that we want to take? What is that subject that Ramadan is teaching us? The subject Ramadan is teaching us today is the subject of humility. Yes, Ramadan and humility. Ramadan has really taught us humility. Ramadan has really made us to humble ourselves. Yes, as they used to say, Ramadan is not your mate. You know, Ramadan has really humbled them to the extent that they were sleeping in the mosque even before Maghrib prayer. Then it was written under that before Ramadan, Maghrib is waiting for us. But in Ramadan, we are the one now that is waiting for Maghrib to come. La ilaha illallah. So they were so humble in that picture. Everybody was asleep, you know. They're just lying down, waiting for Maghrib to come. It tells you that Ramadan has really done what? Has really humbled you. So what is humility? What is humility? Humility is not accepting a state of humiliation. That is not humility. Rather, humility is about entering into a state of illumination. I will say that again. Humility is about entering into the state of illumination. Yes, a state whereby a person realizes how dependent they really are on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the divine blessing in his creature or on his creation. Yes, where a person is truly understood, where you truly understand how little they really know. Yes, and where people know how much more there is to learn. And where a person is able to see the good in others such that they need not feel superior to anyone else. That is what humility is. Yes, I can bring that again. I said humility is not accepting a state of what? State of humiliation. Not accepting the state of humiliation, but rather humility is about entering into a state of what? Illumination. A state where a person realizes how dependent they really are on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the divine creation of Allah. A state where a person truly understands how little they know and how much there is for them to learn. A state where a person is able to see good in other people, yes, and not feel superior over them. That is what humility is all about. That is what humility is all about. So now Ramadan has come to teach us what? Humility. Humility, the path to humility begins, by examining one's own heart and then striving to purify that heart. That is what Ramadan has come to teach us. You understand? It begins with what? By examining one's own heart and then striving to purify it. When you try to purify it and you try as much as possible not to be arrogant. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And when we talk about being arrogant, you see, arrogance was arguably the first great sin. That was the sin that was committed by Iblis. That was the sin that was committed by Iblis. That's the first sin ever. La ilaha illallah. The Quran was condemned it. When Shaitan refused, to come to teach us about humility. When you look at yourself, that all of us are fasting now. Whether you are rich, whether you are poor, hunger doesn't know whether you are rich or doesn't know whether you are poor. Hunger catches everyone. Take that all of us will be hungry at the same time. All of us will be thirsty at the same time. It tells you that you don't look down on anybody. It tells you that you feel you should put yourself in another person's shoes, so that you don't just feel that, hey, this is who I am. Oh, this is who I am. The statement we used to say in Nigeria, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? La ilaha illallah. Scholars has made us understand that there are 8 stages, or there are 8 instances, or how we make ourselves feel arrogant. There are 8 ways to identify the sources of arrogance, where arrogance comes from. 8 places. La ilaha illallah. Let's see if we can look at those 8 things, that the sources of arrogance, why we become arrogant, why we are not humble. What makes you arrogant? The first one is feeling of superiority. Feeling of what? Superiority. Because you feel superior over one another, then you now think, then arrogance comes. And you have forgotten that Allah said also in the Quran, Inna akramakum indallahi ataqakum. The best, the most superior among you is he who fears Allah. Is he who has taqwa. Is he who is conscious. What has Ramadan come to teach us? Consciousness. So Ramadan itself is the entirety of life. So the first source of superiority or of arrogance is what? Is feeling superiority. Second one is treating others with contempt. Third one is pride of lineage. Yes, pride of lineage. The fourth one is pride of beauty, of being handsome. The pride that, oh, this is how Allah has created me. Allah said, that he has created man in the best of structures. Some people are more beautiful, some people are more handsome than another. But because you now feel that you are beautiful, it brings arrogance. It's a source of arrogance. Pride of wealth. Because you have money, you have wealth, you now start bragging. Check that pride in Quran chapter 90. Quran chapter 90, ayah 4. When you look at ayah 4 to 7, there was this bragger, talking about people that brags with their money. They have a lot of money, they keep bragging. La ilaha illallah. They thought they have power because they have wealth. You know, the Englishman says wealth is power, knowledge is power. Knowledge is also another source. Yes, it's another source of arrogance. It's another source of arrogance, pride of knowledge. The people that have knowledge, they have that pride inside them. They now feel arrogance over people that doesn't have knowledge. The pride of abundance is also another source of what? Of arrogance, because you have things in abundance. You want this, you get it. You want this, you get it. You now feel other people are lazy and you now bounce on them. Pride of abundance. The other one again is pride of physical strength. Pride of physical strength. This is where bullying comes in. You know, when you have six-pack, you have all that it demands for you to fight another person. And this is where the Prophet ﷺ let us understand, Laysa shadidu man galaba nas. You that have that physical strength over your fellow human being, Laysa shadidu man galaba nas, that does not make you a strong person. When he said, Innama shadidu man galaba nafsi indal gadab, it is only you that have that humility. It is only you that have that sense of emotional intelligence. That is what makes you a powerful person. So you see these 8 sources of arrogance. This is what makes us become arrogant. And you know, all of those things, Ramadan has really humbled us with it. You want to feel superiority? What superior are you? How superior are you with hunger? The way hunger catches a rich man, that is how it catches a poor man. The way a young man feel hunger, that is how an old man feel hungry. Yes, hunger is universal. It's universal. In fact, it doesn't matter what you eat for sahur or what you eat for iftar. If it affects us in the same manner. So you can see that this is what arrogance has come to do. So humility is what we need, and that is what Ramadan has come to teach you and I. Now, if we now want to look at humility or how to solve it, how to bring ourselves down, there are 3 steps to overcome arrogance and increase in humility. We look at 3 good steps that you need to take, to overcome arrogance and to do what? To increase in humility, to be humble. The first step is you have to read the Quran. Read the Quran. The Quran, let us understand that if you read the Quran, let us understand, knowing your origin, knowing where you are coming from. Allah said He has created us from fluid. Before He now make it this, before He now make it, before He now fashioned it, before He now makes everything into who you are. So where are you? Where are you coming from? When He said Al-Ata al-Inzan Innu minan dahri lam yakun shay'an maskura, there was a time that they can't even mention your name. When they call Abdul Razak, you can't answer because you are not even in existence. This is supposed to humble you, that you were nowhere to be found before now. 100 years before today, where were you? Before you were born onto the surface of the earth, where were you? It's supposed to humble you. If we read Quran chapter 76, ayah 1 and 2, that is it. Allah is asking you, has there not been a time that you are nothing? You are nothing before we now created you, before we now make you who you are. Reflecting on this will tame that boastful ego inside you. You have to read that Quran and understand where you are coming from. So when you know where you are coming from, when you go back to history and you go back to the history of your fathers, of your fathers, of your fathers, it will do what? It will humble you. It will make you see that you are nothing. So that is one way of overcoming arrogance. That is when you think about where you are coming from. As Allah has told you that you were nothing from anywhere, nowhere. Where were you then? Then the second one, then again, the Quran asks us to consider our end. Nothing that will take pride if you follow or you know that you are going to end in the grave. If you know that no matter what you have acquired on the surface of the earth, the end is you are going to end in the grave. Our wealth will be distributed to the inheritors. So of what pride do you have? Our body will be decayed, become dust, bones, everything will go rotten. Then what else? So if you feel sense of pride in anything, just remember how it will all end. If you feel pride in your wealth, if you feel pride in your knowledge, if you feel pride in your beauty, if you feel pride in your strength, if you feel pride in your lineage, and if you feel pride in your superiority over other people, know that nothing lasts forever. Yes, nothing lasts forever. It will surely have an end. And it is that end that will give you humility. It is that end that you are thinking of. It is that end that you put in your head that will bring you down. Remember that day that you and everybody will be on the same line. Yawma yakumu ruhu wal malaikatu saffan. That day la yatakallamuna illa man azina lahu rahman wa qala thawaban. That day everybody will still be in the same line. Everybody, there is no distinction. There is no distinction. Neither your wealth, nor your family, nor anything that you have that can save you. La malun wala waladun wala abuka wala umuka wala nasab. Nothing will save you. You can check Quran chapter 26, ayah 89. Nothing will save you. So that is another way to overcome what? Arrogance, and bring humility, increase you in humility. What do you have that is not Allah that gave you? What is that thing that you have that is not Allah that gave you? And you are forgetting that He that gave you what He gave you, He can also collect it from you. So what is the pride? Why don't you humble yourself and use that Allah has given you, use it, accordingly. Use it and get more. Use it and be beneficial. Use it and get Al-Jannah from Allah. So use that your money to get Al-Jannah. Do you get it? Now, the third way or third step of overcoming arrogance and increasing in humility is to convert your feeling of arrogance over whatever you have to deep gratitude, knowing that it comes truly from Allah. It is not by your own power. It's not by your own strength. You may go to school. You may have knowledge. You may come from a good lineage, from a good family. You may have that strength. You may have that beauty. And it will not amount to anything. Yes. There are a lot of people that have knowledge, and their knowledge does not benefit them nor the people around them. There are a lot of people that have strength, but weak people always overcome them. There are a lot of people that come from a good background, good lineage family. They have good lineage, but they are very poor, very handicapped. They don't have anything to talk about. So it means that it is Allah that gave you that opportunity. It is just by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you think about that, what you need to do is to do what? Is to start giving gratitude to Allah. It has been established that the best of dua is Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allah asks now, Man yaf'alullaha bi'adhabikum. Man yaf'alullaha bi'adhabikum. Why will I want to punish you? Man yaf'alullaha bi'adhabikum. Is it my own pride that I punish you people? Is it my own pride that I have created hellfire? It's not a pride. He said, Man yaf'alullaha bi'adhabikum in shakaritum. If you give thanks, if you give gratitude, wa amantum wa kana Allahu shakiran alim. That Allah is the Lord that cherish when you give him gratitude upon what he has bestowed upon you. So you see that we have lot of opportunity around us. We have lot of things that we're supposed to do. So to overcome arrogance and increase in humility, these are the 3 steps. 1, know where you are coming from. Know your history. Go back to your creation. Go back to your existence. It was said that over 6,000 or over 6 million spermatozoas, that comes out of your parent. And if it produces only you think it's by your power? You think it's by your power? La ilaha illallah. So think about where you are coming from, where you are nothing. When they did not flush you as blood, you are the only one, or 2 of you, or 3 of you, or 4 of you, if it is quadrant. This is what we are talking about. So remember where you're coming from. Then the next one is knowing where your end is. What will end all what you think you have? What will end all what you think you believe? What will end all what you think you own? What will end it? Also know that it's coming to an end one day. Is it position? That's position of superiority. Is it position? It will still come to an end. Barry will still live as others have left. Your governor will still live as other governors has left. Your House of Rep or House of Assembly, they will still live as others have left. So if you are one of them, that because you have gotten that position, then you now become arrogant, it will go. Because you are now the head of unit, you are now the manager, you are now the coordinator. All these names that they call people that are superior over others. You now wear the cloth of arrogance. Ramadan has come to tell you that we are all equal. And as Allah has said in the Quran, that we are all equal. But the best of you is those that fear Allah. Is those that reflect. So follow those 3 steps. And as you do, you will understand quite all right that humility is the best way of living your life. Understanding that this is what it is, it gives you leverage to move ahead. It gives you leverage to know. You see, you should know that you are dependent on Allah's creation. What I call humility, is to also understand that we are interconnected. We are interconnected with one another. We are interdependent. We are not self-dependent. When it is time for iftar, when everybody is weak, la ilaha illallah, everybody is weak. Everybody is weak because of the lack of food and water that we have not taken for the day. And everybody wanted to find something to eat. You see that food and you, water and you, it tells you that you can't live in isolation. Those are Allah's own creation. And you are interdependent. As you are dependent on food, you are dependent on water. It means that you cannot do anything alone. You can't. Your living is dependent on food. Your living is dependent on water. Your living is dependent on other people around you. So why dare you look down on other people? If you restrain yourself, if you humble yourself, as Ramadan is humbling you right now, if you humble yourself, as Ramadan is humbling you right now, as fasting is making you see that we are all one, we are in this, all of us are in the same state. The state of hunger, the state of thirsty, the state of abstaining from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to abstain from. We are all in the same state. So where is that position? Oh, I am superior, I am the leader in this place, so I'm allowed to eat food, I'm allowed to drink water. Nay, it's not like that in Ramadan. We are all equal. Yes, I am the superior, I have this power, I am the father. Father cannot be even superior in Ramadan. As you're not supposed to eat as a father, your children are not supposed to eat as well, if they have gotten to the age of Ramadan. So you see that uniformity that Ramadan has brought to us. And this is what we have been preaching. This is what Ramadan has come to teach you and I. This is what Ramadan has taught you. So you have to enroll into the school of Ramadan. As you enroll into that school of Ramadan, you have to attend classes. As you attend the classes of Ramadan, you have to listen to Ramadan. And one thing Ramadan is telling you today is humble yourself. Okay? Humble yourself. Have that cloth of humility. Wear it. No place for arrogance in life. No place for arrogance in life. Those that were arrogant yesterday, where were they? Where were they? You want to talk about Fir'aun? Want to talk about Fir'aun? You know their stories. Even on the surface of the earth, those that are arrogant, we know about Idi Amin of Uganda. Where were they today? Where were they? This is to tell you that it will come to an end. So if you know and you believe and you accept that it will come to an end, humble yourself. Humble yourself. May Allah make it easy for each and every one of us. So what you have let us understand today is that humility is not accepting that you are not accepting humiliation, or not accepting a state of humiliation. No, but humility is what is about entering into the state of illumination. Yes, a state where a person realizes how dependent they are on Allah and Allah's blessing. That is one thing about humility. You must know that you are dependent on Allah. You are not independent of Allah. You are dependent of Allah and the blessings of Allah around you. Humility is a state where a person truly understands how little they really know. How little they really know, and how much there is to learn. That is humility. Don't say, I've known everything. I don't, a scholar has come out and say, ask me anything. Just ask me anything. La ilaha illallah. You can't know everything, ya Sheikh. Those are instances, and that is when you humiliate yourself. When that is when you now humiliate yourself. Do you get it now? Oh, look at English. Humility. And when you humiliate yourself, that is the negative part. La ilaha illallah. Humility again is when a person is able to see the good in other people in order not to feel superior over them. So inshallah, may Allah make it easy for each and every one of us. This is the message today. This is the lesson from the month of Ramadan, and this is all about humility. May Allah make it easy for us, inshallah. I still remain yours, Allah Yode Abdul Razak, aka Philosopher King. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Ashhadu حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
93.7 Citizen FM.
Let's talk about it on our favorite radio station.
We're more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
Give thanks to Allah for the moon and the stars. Praise Him all day for what is and what was. Take hold of your iman, don't give in to shaitan. Oh, you who believe, please give thanks to Allah. Allahu Ghafoor, Allahu Rahim, Allahu yuhibbul muhsinin. وخالقنا ورازقنا وهو على كل شيء قدير. Allah is Ghafoor, Allah is Rahim, Allah is the one who loves the muhsinin. He is our creator, He is our sustainer, and He is the one who has power over all. Give thanks to Allah.